7 o'clock. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm shot. Huh?
I heard it.
Wrong.
2020, you decided.
Yeah, I'd say.
If you
Go.
guys get told, let me know because I'm not too old.
Does that mean you'll just, I don't care?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're told. You're welcome, Jack. Stand in place. All right, everybody, welcome to the July 5th, 2022 Mount Jewett Borough Council meeting. We'll start as always with citizens wishing to address the public. Everybody start at once.
Speak up, I will.
Go ahead.
Carolyn Stroud, representing the NJKD Trail Club. Just a few things on our agenda. The trail surfacing project is done. This is official. We had our inspection today and it went very well. She was really impressed with the compaction of the material on the trail and just all over, you know, was really pleased. We're having a ribbon cutting ceremony July 15th from 3 to 4 o'clock down on Center Street at the parking lots. I hope everybody got a copy of the invite from the council. You're welcome to come. Anybody's welcome to join us. Our next project will be guardrails in particular places along the trail. The guys said they don't want you to make them do any work until after August, so I guess we won't be doing that right away. I talked to a Corey Appleby from the railroad maintenance crew. He's kind of the lead person for that. And they're actually going to be doing some maintenance right near Kushaquat Avenue. They want to cut back the brush between the rail trail and the railroad tracks. So it was kind of a great thing that I got a hold of them because we wanted to talk to them about cleaning up some of their junk between the railroad tracks and the rail trail. I don't know if you guys noticed, there's a big pile of pails and I don't know what the black plastic things are that they have piled up there. And he said that the crew's supposed to be coming to get that cleaned up. But anyways, we want to work together, his work maintenance crew and our trail club to start making that look a little bit better along, you know, between the rail trail and the railroad tracks. So I know part of that will be, let's see, the Borough property goes up to the railroad property, right? Or how does that go behind here?
I'm pretty sure the railroad comes in a significant piece on just about everything.
Okay. So they said they're gonna start clearing some of the brush on the other side of the tracks. And we kind of want to be there when they do that because we don't want to cut everything down. We want some shade along the trail. So anyways, we're going to be working with them. This Corey Appleby was a very nice gentleman and he's anxious to get together and work on that. Another thing is, I don't know if anybody noticed, there was washouts on both sides of Kushaquat Avenue that went across the trail. Actually, the trail survived it pretty good with the new surfacing on there. And I'm not really sure if it's a rail trail issue, a borough issue, or the railroad issue. You know, it may not ever happen again, but it was pretty severe.
Kushaquat is a state route.
Right, the road was.
Yeah, so I looked at it, I went for a walk last night, and, you know, if the state, when they went down there and graded them, I'm kind of surprised they didn't grade the top end, which probably would have helped. However, there's no pipe where it meets Wishu Avenue, so the water can still run across it for the most part. There was some small pipe that somebody could get, might be able to put something in there and get the water through. It's washing out that bank there on Lumber Street pretty good. If we can get it swaled back towards the ditch, it might be okay, or even pipe it back there, or just rip wrap it and make it an area that the water runs through. We're paving that street and run along the side.
Right. And they are gonna, the state is gonna be doing, or I shouldn't say the state, I'm sorry, a contractor will be doing the rail trail crossing there. So there'll be some improvements right there. Ken found a 12-foot pipe, I think like an iron pipe or something, and we're thinking about cutting that in half and seeing what we could do there. And then also on the other side of Crucial Avenue, did you see that?
Yeah,
So
well,
we-
middle of that, end of that building.
Yeah,
See
so
where
we'll do
it
the
was.
same thing there, so maybe just, we can get that improved there. I didn't know if the railroad company, I think, dug a big hole up there next to their tracks. And I think that some of that water is just, it doesn't have anywhere to go, and there was so much volume that it just ran right down the road and onto the, across the rail trail.
If you get it to us, we'll deal with it appropriately.
The McKean County Conservation District applied for a grant a year ago for just really invasive plants along the trail. Nobody contacted the trail club. The people that did the spraying were from Erie, and they contacted the Conservation District and basically just left the message that they were gonna spray. Because our rules are from Jamie French that we have to post if we're gonna spray on the trail. No posting is done. I just wanna let you know that the spray that they used was called Aquaneat, and then after a couple days, it's supposed to be perfectly safe for people, pets, and everything. So if anyone did call the borough and ask about that or complain, we didn't know they were spraying. We weren't very happy because when they sprayed, everything turned blue. And it didn't look too good, no. But,
Well, they weren't very careful about it.
Yeah.
They were obviously not spraying targeted plants. They killed 7 of my dad's blueberry bushes. Yeah.
Oh.
So they were just going,
Like,
and that's not right.
Yeah.
So is it not safe in the immediate aftermath of when they do it for people and animals?
Well, it kills the plants.
Well, they just said after the next day that it's safe, like this is what you told me on the phone.
Because I would assume then at first,
That's what I'm saying, if you're letting the public, like not letting the public know, hey, don't use this.
I know,
Yeah.
That seems like a,
did somebody contact the Conservation District?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
drafting a
yeah, I
letter.
talked to them, I talked to the guy in Erie, and then there was the, I can't remember the foundation that they got the grant from. I told everybody, and I sent a copy to Jamie French, I said, this was just not right, nobody was contacted, nobody, I mean, what if we were having a race that weekend, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
And we're out there spraying or something.
And I walked out with my daughter and I called your house and wondered what this blue stuff was everywhere, and, you know, so it's,
Well, I don't believe whoever did the spraying understood invasive type plants and other plants, because I have some complaints as far as, out of the borough, so it doesn't matter to the borough, but
Right.
killing blueberry bushes if they're
Yeah.
not sprayed to
Yeah.
blueberry bush.
And Jack and Alice have been, cutting down the knotweed on the corner there by Crucial Avenue.
That's all
Put the
problem.
grass in, got that all established and everything, and they sprayed that. There was one, a bullweed seed or something, I don't even know what it was, and they sprayed that. Well, they sprayed the plant, but they sprayed everything.
Right.
Yeah, so we were really upset about that.
send us your letter that you're sending to the Conservation District, maybe we'll follow it up with something of our own, just because, you know, this public trail
Yeah.
can affect anybody, puppies, kids, people that gotta go to the bathroom, so.
Yeah. Okay, the only other thing I was gonna mention is we do have a 5K race on July 23rd, and then a half marathon, which almost goes to the end from the state park, and then they turn around and go back. I'm sure the runners this year are gonna be very happy, they don't have the stones on the trail to deal with. That'll be happening the July 23rd, 24th, and then there'll be the Kinzoo Bridge Challenge, which will be August 14th. And so that's our next events that are coming up. And pretty much that's all I got.
Thank you. Next.
Following that, I suppose I will do this. So, the ballpark's been getting a new, kind of, a lot of revitalization. Frank's, I've been talked with Chris. But, so I've been making little short video clips of some of the progress that we've had. So let's see if I can get one. Oh, has some sound, I'll just show you a little bit. So I'm doing this for Main Street and all around town where we're doing, updates, so that we have some kind of, this is just a simple slideshow, it's not that, but it gives you an idea of how wet these parks were. And how much, like, just paving that ballpark and putting a drain in there, like Rick suggested, that's gonna make a huge difference in terms of actually being able to.
Is this something that you could send us if we got you an email list, send you a list of everybody's email, just with the,
Yeah,
like,
you
if we
can
had
see
a pull
it
down,
more.
it
I'm
would
gonna
be
put
better.
it up on the website, it'd be easier, where
Okay.
people can just see it.
Yeah.
But,
Instead of, because
like
like
it's-
everybody else will have to, if you'll send that to us, that would be great.
Yeah, and then, so this is just kind of showing like a lot of the issues that we talked about at the beginning of spring with the park, like the bleachers, the water being the biggest problem, which came around to like clearing the drains, which they did, which is fabulous, you can see. Just clearing out that garbage helped drain the water, you know? And then, you know, this is what they're doing right now with the parking lot. I got all kinds of video of them tearing that up, putting in the drain, and then, you know, they're gonna be repaving it this week, so I'll continue to get that, so you guys can see some. But, and so these will be good little promo videos for promote, you know, for the revitalization work that we're doing. And how we want to use it. But just kudos to the park and the guys, because
If you'll upload that,
and the contractors, they all did a great job, I mean, and they didn't, you know, really run into any issues that stopped them just moving forward.
Yeah, that's good. Well, if you'll leave the email or email it to us and/or give us your
Yeah.
website information, then everybody can see it when it's, you know.
Yeah,
have time
yeah.
and everybody can see it once.
So the other thing is, I have, talked with the Kane, Farmers Market, and we're looking at doing the farmers market here. We're gonna start off on Thursday nights. She suggested either 3 to 6 or 4 to 7. I'm open to suggestions, whatever time works and we'd like to repeat it every other week. So it'll be a farmer's market, flea market, arts and crafts in the ballpark. So anybody's welcome to come set up a tent. I think we're gonna do the first one in July, end of July, the 21st, I think.
Okay, well, just
But
get
just
with
a-
somebody here at the Borough so that we can just officially make sure it's not rented from anybody else. If you give it a nailed down date,
Yeah.
then we can.
And then we'll schedule them, but anybody who's interested in participating or has any, you know.
So that is the same night as the Music on Sixth event, the 21st.
Is that just once a month?
That's it, twice a month, so it's every other
Okay.
week. So if you're trying to do it opposite weeks,
Or they could complement each other too.
well, but they're not at the same place, so people at the,
A walk up.
right, but the people at the concert might stay at the concert, which could hurt.
What's the time of the concert?
Starts at 6 to 8.
Okay, so we could do 3 to 6,
Sure.
and then people are already in town, might get in more crowd. You know, or 3 to 7, there's a little overlap, it's not really, but you know.
Just wanted you to be aware, because we don't need to be cannibalizing each other's things if possible.
Well, my idea is to bring people into town, so if they can complement each other, it'll work
I think
out.
that a compliment
If it complements, that's
Yeah.
good, if it's at the same
Well,
time.
all right, just contact the borough
Okay.
and put your date and time in, and if you work with Hilltop or just let us know, and we'll go from there.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to mention about the pavilion with the Trail Club is that area where we're gonna have the, event, is part of the area we're looking to revitalize or beautify.
Thank you.
So anybody who has suggestions on how we might make that part of the Trail Club, or part of the trail,
For the community.
for the community, right now we have a pavilion, there's talk about getting grills, we have 2 picnic tables, so, any suggestions, we're open to that.
Okay. You? Kelly?
So Hilltop Heritage Coalition, we have served 477 lunches so far. We still have 3 3.5 weeks left of their lunch program. Just so a reminder, we served 203 last year total in 5 weeks, so, it's a little bigger than this today. It has been extended, again, last year we only did 5 weeks. Upcoming, we will be finishing out the end of July, so I think it's 8 weeks total that we'll be serving. The donations, have been amazing. The volunteers at the library as well as the volunteers for the Hilltop Heritage Coalition have been amazing as well. So thank you to all and any, and please keep spreading the word, because we are not done yet. We have a lot of food that we need to purchase and need to receive. So Music on 6, as was mentioned before, will continue. We write in 2 events. We have raised a total of $275 so far in those 2 events for the amphitheater. We have 4 more events planned, July 7th and 21st, August 11th and 25th. They do start at 6 here at the Heritage Park and they go until 8. So if you're available this Thursday, we would love to see you. It's the Ladybug and the Walrus.
Is that like a kid's one?
No, I don't know.
We
It's the
couldn't
house.
get a kid one this year, we tried.
Okay. Oh, sounds like,
It does, but.
I just wondered.
I'm not 100% sure. It's a local person, the
Okay.
Lois Hauser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lois and Kevin.
Thank you.
It's family friendly.
It's family friendly.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, those are all on Facebook as well.
Chuck has a question.
Yes, Chuck.
The
Sorry.
last one is August 25th.
Correct.
That's open night, open
Yes.
mic night? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, the Doobie Brothers are on tour. Are they coming in?
I
We
got
would
a call,
hope
so.
so.
You do?
We can bring the Kentucky Headhunters in too. so I
I'll
think
do,
they're
I'll do
finishing
it,
up.
I'll do a duet with Michael
Oh, that
McDonald.
sounds amazing.
Okay. I'll pencil you in, Chuck.
Thank you.
Also, the Hilltop Heritage Coalition will be purchasing a brick in honor of, the past, Officer Russ Swanson, who had, I guess, was killed in the line of duty many years ago. Not the Russ Swanson that's
For
alive.
a second, like,
Yes. Every time I get it. But that is something that Lynette, Robinson decided that's what she was going to do for the bake sale that she, recently had, during the spring fling. So $100 will be going towards that, so we'll be putting that application in. Also, the high school senior banners, thank you to the person that owns the pink fence.
They look really nice.
They do.
Unfortunately, we did have vandalism to one of them. We have had a donor that's already replaced, put in the amount to have it replaced. And that's where I come to, the vandalism in Mount Jewett. I hope that is being addressed tonight. That is something that I had brought up many months ago, and I was concerned. I've been informed that it could be kids from Kane also doing our vandalism, but I know it wasn't just the library and our banners that were impacted.
What happened at the library?
The food pantry box, there was food all over the front of my library, one morning.
Pulled it out, smashed it on the sidewalks.
Yeah, so we pulled the peanut butter, scooped it out, closed it, put it back in. Just,
Kelly, originally, when this was discussed about banners, and I wasn't a part of the project, I suggested it a long time ago, we weren't able to move forward with it, so I appreciate the fact that there was, you know, something done on that line. There was talk about them being more of an overhead or something, and one of the reasons was to eliminate the possibility of vandalism. I know that they did what they probably felt they had to do, but if they were hanging somewhere, they're a lot less prone to any vandalism. That's something you may want to consider moving forward, is considering an alternative hanging option.
And I was informed that there was no room, so that's why I went with this, and that was from Lance.
Yeah, on the poles, right, but the Swedish festival hangs stuff across the street. There's the one option that I looked at and I recommended when we first talked about this a couple of years ago was doing something that would string them right across here like the Swedish festival does. I mean, you're right, the poles, they would not complement well, they would not go well with the veterans banners, but there may be some other options if we think outside the box.
And we did have, business owners, because like last year, we hung them inside the business
Right.
windows and stuff. So, I mean, we had that option. We were just trying to make it a little bit more.
It's a shame, but I did that several years ago with another project, that we put banners at ground level, and I had $300 banners that were slashed and totally destroyed.
well, across the street.
Never did that again.
across the street overhead is an interesting option, so next year we'll explore.
You know, that may take the cooperation of the Rotary, the Borough, and other organizations.
But it's a good idea, good suggestion.
Yeah,
That's why I
definitely,
think the
we'll
big
be
bucks.
addressing all. And,
That's right.
July 31st, it was, at the Hilltop Heritage Coalition, we decided to have a Mount Jewett Family Fun Day up at the baseball field. So I do I just reach out to the Borough to confirm that that day is available? It is a Sunday, it'll be 2 p.m. We're trying to figure out how to keep it low-key for the community. So, I mean, because it'll be like free hot dogs and, you know, stuff like that. So we're really trying to address how can we make it a big thing, but not a everybody thing, like keep it in the family, but not including the third cousins kind of thing. So definitely, if you have any ideas on how we can spread the word on that, and still keep it low key, but we do feel that it would just be a community fun day of let's just have a barbecue at the baseball fields pretty much, and, you know, have cornhole, have, you know, maybe a softball game, pick up, whatever. So that's definitely something that will be down the line. We're just trying to get creative without spreading the word too far, I guess. We keep it still within the family, so. July 31st, I will be submitting that to the Borough, to confirm that that day is available, so. I'm almost done, so please hold tight. The library, we have 17 events scheduled for July, so we will be busy. If you have kids, if you have people, definitely, send them to the library. All the events are on Facebook, also on our website, we'll be there with our calendar, et cetera. So we're definitely busy. We've had 5 new patrons just during the summer lunch program, which is exactly why we started the lunch program last year, was to get people back into the library. So I do feel that that's a big success. And then also our tables are en route. That will be here by Swedish Festival, so that's exciting, and we'll be having them for sale during the Swedish Festival as well.
Are the activities in the library just for about two resident kids or any kid?
Any kid.
Any kid?
Yeah, that family fun day is the only one we're kind of like trying to keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big deal. We don't want a billion people
We'll
to
break the
show
bank
for.
if 10,000 people show up, we all have it.
Yeah,
We
I
can
know.
hold 909, yeah.
Okay, I just was making sure.
But yeah, everything's open to the library.
The other side.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
it.
lunch program, anything that happens
Okay.
at the library, it's free, it's,
Okay.
you know, fun, it's just to get people back into the library, so, that's definitely the goal there. And with the vandalism, I was informed that the PSP, were informed and requested to have more presence, and I did see, a PSP guy officer earlier today, so I don't know if it was just happens to be a coincidence, but I appreciated the fact that they heard the call, so.
There was one going up Division Street as I was coming down.
Yeah, so that's a big thing that I can
But hopefully they'll
restart.
be here after dark too.
All right, thank you.
Okay, excellent. Anybody else?
Brett, I'm gonna speak on behalf of the Swedish Festival Committee about using the properties down around here for the festival.
Okay.
The borough, that council has no issues with that.
We want to make a motion to allow the Swedish Festival and the Boy Scouts to utilize the building and our
I'll
property.
second it for all of that except for Tom specifically.
Except for Tom, he's gonna stay outside the park order. So, motion by Chris, second by Jason, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else?
Hey, Tom,
Tom Barb wants you.
Yes, Barb.
can you let the Swedish Festival know I have their parade permit?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
While we're not, do we need to, does the council make a motion on the firework? No, is that just?
No, that'll be up to, well, that's up to you and, to approve it.
Oh,
You have to sign off on it.
I'm sure.
Okay, before we close public comment, I was gonna wait and talk individually, but I think it requires a decent amount of discussion and with the rest of the council, because I don't wanna do anything on my own. You guys do a tremendous amount of work, the three of you, for the community, and we appreciate hearing from you, and we appreciate everything that you do. What I would like to see, to expedite things, is 25 minutes of the public meeting is taken up by your actions, and it's great. We want to know what's going on. I would greatly appreciate it if you would put your reports in writing the Friday before, so we can get into our packets, hit the highlights, and then we can ask questions like Chuck's Music on Main or this and that, so that it doesn't take a tremendous amount of time. You guys do a lot for the community. I can't express how much we appreciate it. I'd just like to be able to read it and go, that's great, hey Kelly, what about this? And if you have something off the hip, the library report or this and that, that's fine. But just to kind of bring stuff down, because every month you guys are here, which is great. And you do a lot every month, which is wonderful. Just for time constraint purposes, it would be great if we could put it in writing and then we can hit the bullet points and we can ask the questions, okay? I would greatly appreciate, you don't have to, but I don't wanna have to limit everybody, okay, we got 5 minutes so that we can get done, because when we have 10 people here, it kinda gets cumbersome. So I appreciate you. Anybody have any problem with that?
I would like to clarify that, or at least add to it, in that much of what has been talked about in the last half hour, while it is directly borough news, it's not borough council news. And what has happened on a couple of these occasions is I've picked up press releases and whatnot, and the people have a tendency to believe that much of this stuff is borough council related and borough council funded or borough council sponsored, when in fact it's not. It's not necessarily, it's borough news, but it's not borough council news. And as a matter of clarification and making sure that the public is not come under the assumption that what's being brought up is a borough council matter that we take action on, or we endorse, or we support financially. And so I appreciate what Brett just asked, and I think it's a good idea for all of us moving forward.
Okay. As always, we'll move on to the business portion of the meeting, which means public comment is closed, and we will go from there. Madam Mayor.
First of all, I think, Kelly talked about the lunch program, just kudos to the coalition for that. I think that's a really big deal, and, a lot of these kids otherwise might not have lunch, so, just a number over the 400, that's a really big deal, so, sorry. The air conditioning is, otherwise, I talked about last meeting about slow down, not Jewett, kind of a campaign to get folks to slow down. I talked to Tom about, hanging in. I'm realizing that the Swedish Festival is gonna go up soon, so I'm thinking that maybe we'll time that with after the Swedish Festival, like the beginning of school starting, just hit, okay, slow down, not Jewett. Put a banner across Main Street, that's what I'm gonna do. Otherwise, not really.
Excellent. Motion to accept the mayor's report.
Motion.
Motion by Tom, second by Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, maintenance report.
Comments on that?
Do you have comments?
All right, if you look at the maintenance, he has in there as far as vandalism at the Heritage Park. Thank goodness, when I got a hold of him, he got up there and looked at it. It's the feed to the water line there is copper. And the kids had it bent over so far that when he straightened it out, it almost put a pinhole in the corner at the edge of the pipe because it came. And he got it strapped to the railing to keep him from being able to bend it over, and then he had to put I had him find something to put on the end. He found a lock system that he could put on the hose to keep him from turning it on, or the spigot, because they were taking the hose and spraying people walking by and stuff, and then they were leaving the water run a couple times. That Junior went over and found the water running, so we had, hopefully got that taken care of. And I asked Junior, he took my cell phone number to call me when he saw kids over there, terrorizing or, not behaving themselves, so he did the other night. I jumped in my truck, flew up, pulled all the kids together, and there was even a parent there come down to get her kids. And I had a good talk with them of what, if they didn't know how to respect the park, that there's a lot of money that was put into that park up there. That the next step, this is your warning, the next step, I will contact the state police, and your parents will be the one hearing about it. And A lot of the kids were apologetic because they were getting on the roof. One girl even stepped up and said, I was one of the ones on the roof. I'm really sorry. I never gave it a thought that, you know, that's not safe and whatnot, but, one of the boys that was involved, which I know for a fact who it was, that he just kind of stood there and stared me down, but I told him what would happen, you know, so if anybody sees things going on, talk to them. Don't just yell at them, talk to them and explain to them why they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. You know, too many times, you know, people just wanna go into screaming at the kids. You know, if you talk to them, a lot of times, majority will understand, and, you know, I think we'll see results that way. So, hopefully you know, oh, and then the other thing, he has in here, as far as that one post has brought it off. And I think probably what agitated it and made it worse than what it was is the kids, jumping up on the railings and swinging off the top part and, you know, bouncing it around, made it come apart a little bit faster than it would have, but, we have to look into trying to see if we can find an Amish crew that, does that kind of stuff, and see if they'll make us a new upright post and put that back together. Cause I see, somebody told me they thought a couple in the back was bad, but I took a screwdriver around, and that was the only one I saw that was bad enough to be repaired.
What we need to do as council members to the community, and it's been a while since I've had this discussion, because we haven't had much issue, is to affirm to the community that it's for public use, but it's not a playground. And what I haven't done, I haven't seen any kids over there, I'm not in town as much as some of you are, is when you see children there, go over there and, like Tom said, you know, yell and scream and kick them out, because it's not that they're not allowed to be there, but it's not a playground. We have playground facilities, we have park facilities. And so try to talk to them and say, go to the playground, go somewhere where you can have fun in that regard and not do vandalism and damage. And it takes a community effort. This has got to be something that the word needs to get out to the community. And, you know, if you're coming in and out of the post office, the senior center, the coffee shop, and you see something going on, people have to step up. We can't just sit there and talk about it or let somebody else, but it's a park for public use, but it's not a playground.
And I think people need to remember too that Dick built that as a memorial park.
Yes.
As a solemn memorial
Yeah.
park, a place to kind of go and reflect. So, and I think we have to keep that in mind too when we talk to the public. It was more about reflection or quiet time.
Yes.
When the kids are on there.
Very good, yep, exactly. Okay.
Excellent. Motion to accept the maintenance.
Motion.
Chuck, Warren motions.
Second.
Steve, need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Code enforcement report.
I kinda got approached with something that deals with the code.
Okay.
I had somebody come to me about fireworks. I guess they called state police, and they were told the borough needs to send a letter for us to do something about it, which sounded really weird.
Lori said that what she can do is send letters to the violators. And that's her recourse at this moment.
And that's it.
For her, but the state
Yeah.
police have the right
They
to
should
come
be
in
able to
and-
come out, yeah.
Yeah, if they're an illegal firework, or, you know, they,
Well, I guess they won't. And I guess back before Brianna was elected, there was a meeting of sorts with you, state police, Mayor Annie,
Yes, I would say.
and Chuck Park. Did anything come from that?
Well, I feel like we didn't talk about fireworks, but that's a different.
It was just talked about in general, having dialogue and asking for as much presence as we could get, because we did not have our own police force. We asked for as much presence from the state police, especially in terms of traffic enforcement, I believe, Brianna. There was no specific dialogue concerning
Did you say
fireworks.
fireworks or flowers?
Fireworks.
Oh, sorry. I'm lost. I'm like, what the heck is
Now,
going
the
on?
Flowers were blowing up all over town.
Yeah, we were pollens all over. But anyhow, last year, didn't we, to discussed this
We did.
at our codes and the Fourth of July and the Swedish Festival, didn't we?
We talked about putting together an awareness plan,
Yeah,
and then Lori did that on social media, trying to spread the word about what was and wasn't allowed.
and we did carve out Fourth of July holiday at the Swedish Festival, didn't we, or?
We did not.
I know, I know we talked about it,
We
I
talked
have
about
to
it, but we
review
didn't-
the minutes, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't believe we changed the,
Well, one of the things with fireworks, especially if we happen to be in a dry season, could start a fire.
Sure.
Especially in a small residential area.
We've had fireworks damage on roofs in these
Yeah.
neighborhoods, and cars and roofs have been damaged.
I believe we did discuss it, but it came down to,
I'm just curious
what
if
are we
there's
gonna
anything.
do? You know?
I don't know, I'm just curious if there's anything the state police could do, because in reality, it's a safety issue.
So they said that they wouldn't without a letter from the borough saying.
That's what I heard from somebody, I'm not 100% sure if,
Next
you know.
time, you talk with the state police.
Preemptively, we should just plan on next year in June, send a letter to them and just say, hey.
if that's what they need, yeah, just to.
I'm sure,
I mean, they're not- I
sure
mean,
we're
it's
not
not-
the only municipality that's
No, we're
had
not.
a
It's gotta be every single one.
and it's almost impossible to catch, even towns that have, you know, an entire police force, they,
Well, I was in Olean last night to watch fireworks,
yeah,
and New York State is very, you know, it was on the news reports that, you know, they're cracking down. Well, as I'm walking down where we're gonna sit in a bleacher, the police are on bicycles going around, and people are setting them off in their yards all around them, and they're just kinda staying back watching it and then walk away, you know, so, yeah,
Oh,
what do
I
you
know.
do if,
It's like a lost cause.
Well, let's,
Yeah.
try and, of course, we'll forget about it by July 4th next year, but work with the code enforcement, with the mayor, with the police department, try and do what we gotta do. You know, you expect it around the 4th of July, it's when it carries on from the 1st through the 7th.
well, one of the things is, it's still the same old, well, you have 3 to 5 days of 4th of July.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's very
For
I
animals
guess-
and everything.
upsetting for their animals,
Sure.
you know.
Don't know what the
It's
answer
like
is.
the eternal.
I don't know what the answer is either, but I just figured if it was brought up, maybe the mayor
It'd be great if there could be a solution.
can think about it over time.
I think just plan on in June, I can send a letter to everyone, send a letter to them, just say, hey. I mean, I'm sure everybody's having the same issue.
Sure.
Just like Brett said, but.
I realize Lori's not here, but I have a question. Is this, met with property owners at 41 East Main Street? Is that the property that, the lady came in last
I think
month?
so.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're within their boundary lines and covenants, so there's, from a borough perspective.
We're done.
Yep, very good, okay. I motion we accept the ordinance report.
Jeff Barr motions, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Chris Parker seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Barbara, you got anything?
Yeah. Just if anybody has any questions on the things I put there, I'll need a motion on the county liquid fuel aid, and a motion on the repository bid if you guys want to accept it.
Every year, we usually put in for sand salt mix, am I wrong on the county liquid fuel?
That's what we use it for, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to entertain.
That's what I put it for, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to have a motion made on that for the $1,593.82 for county liquid fuels, Mark can apply.
I'll motion.
Chris Park motions,
Second.
Robin Blankenship seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The repository bid.
Repository bid, John Hydock offered $400 for 116 West Main Street, the building that is partially tore down on the corner of Dayton and Main Street.
And in his bid, he also stated that he would finish cleaning it up.
Excellent. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. to accept
Jason
the bid.
Hughes makes the motion. Second?
I'll second.
Frank Ariello seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Anything else actionable on the borough manager's report?
Not that you have to do anything with, no.
And Barb, in our,
Just, I gave everybody an update at the end of, June. As you can see, there's a lot of money you know, money is tight now. We have a lot promised out already. And when you look at the financial report, remember that 44,000 of that is ARPA funds of the 91 that's in there. So let's be really careful with our spending and only do what we have to do.
Tell me again what the ARPA funds are for.
American Rescue Plan.
After
Oh,
COVID?
so,
Yeah.
yeah, when they did the report, I put in we were going to use it for paving, sidewalks, and possible recreation.
Okay, thank you.
And we're gonna get more of that money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says there I'll apply for it at the end of July, I believe.
Get another 40,000.
Right, right. And this time I may just open a savings and put it separate, so we're not like having to remember that those funds, you know what I mean? That's what I should have done before.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Excellent.
And once again, thank you all for your support through all this. I really appreciate it.
You're not welcome.
You're welcome, Barbara.
Motion to accept her report.
Thank you,
Jason
Barbara.
Hughes motions. Have a second.
I'll second it.
Chris Park seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes have been presented. If there's no corrections or additions, they'll stand approved as presented. Excellent. Treasurer's report, payment of bills.
I'll motion that we, accept the treasurer's report and the payment of bills.
Motion has been made by Chris Park,
Second.
seconded by Robin Blankenship. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Down to the committee reports. Maintenance of streets and buildings, Tom.
Well, I spoke for it on the park up here. We'll be looking into trying to take care of that and get the post taken care of. Streets, you seen his report that them getting, you know, holes patched and whatnot, and then at the park, I don't know, was that Rick that come up with that idea as far as putting that catch basin in the center? That, I think was a very excellent idea as far as being able to get some of that water that lays on the asphalt up there, you know, to move it away.
Yeah.
And they've been, you know, with working down here on the building, they've been out and about busy, you know. I hear people saying, well, why do we need two full-times, why do we need this, but, you know, they've been very busy with their, and, you know, using their time wisely to get things done, so. Kudos to them for, you know, a great job they're doing.
And
Next.
that back, the building looks nice out there.
Minutes.
Yeah, if you haven't been out around the back, you can see the two-tone colors that's gonna be there.
Blue and yellow, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Swedish.
No, Swede, we're not.
Ah, my rattle can.
Oh.
All right, finance, insurance, Chris.
I'm just gonna echo what Barb said, we really have to watch our spending, to be honest, I really was, I don't wanna say ignorant of that, because I was looking at everything, but I was surprised by the time we paid all the bills this month, how much our money has come down. And I just wanna make sure that we're prudent on what we do, and we just don't waste money, but I think we're doing a good job for the community, and I think we just need to keep going.
Excellent, thank you. Personnel, Chuck.
I have nothing of significance to report, and that's a good thing. Again, I reiterate that drama is minimal. I have spoken with all of the employees personally within the last 30 days and have made contact with them and asked if there are any issues to discuss pertaining to their jobs and the situation that we have. Everything is good. So, Barb, everything okay at your end?
Everything's great on my end.
There you have it. And to Tom's point about the maintenance employees, they're doing a good job. They're going above and beyond.
Excellent. Okay, community development, park planning.
Well, I guess we wanna ask for $2.5 million for anything, which was what I was wondering.
You can ask.
Scale it back a little bit, come on.
when Kelly and I were in Warren, there was a, like a concrete type pavilion they had between two buildings. And it's exactly what she was envisioning for the library, so I'm gonna get that. I took a couple pictures of it, I'll get those sent around so we have an idea of kind of what that vision is for out there. I know there's still issues with the runoff, and we have not made progress on our end in those discussions. So that's kind of where I'm at. The amphitheater's waiting to hear back about the grant, so Music on Six continues raising a little bit here and there to help out. Actually, Frank, you got anything?
No, for the playset, it's basically waiting for a grant to be available. And
We'll get to it
April?
again.
And then Chris said things have improved as far as what our guys have been doing up at the ball field, which is great to see. All the little things make a difference. So,
Okay, fire department, do you have anything?
no, they meet later this week.
All right, excellent. Library,
No, covered it. We covered it.
covered it. All right, sewer, we do have, a resignation we need to accept from the sewer. That's, I guess we can cover it in committee, but we'd have to amend the, agenda to discuss it any further. So,
you want a motion?
yeah, we have.
I'll
to-
motion.
Motion to
To amend
amend the
the-
agenda?
Yes.
A motion to amend the agenda for the sewer authority for the appointment of, the exception to resignation and the exception of, new member.
I'll second it.
Chris Barton makes, Frank makes a motion, Chris seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
So the first thing we need to do is accept the resignation.
Yes, we need to accept the resignation of
Mr. Kesey?
John Kesey.
I make that motion.
Chuck Barr makes a motion,
I'll second it.
Jason Hughes seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Well, we have, Frank Elkhorn has made a letter and to be appointed to the sewer board. It is followed with a letter by the sewer authority. I am going to present every council member this. Please pass this. Pass it around.
Here, would you like one?
Sure. Everybody got one? One more. All right. Take a moment. I believe everybody got Frank's, did we not?
Yes.
Those are the names for which to consider at this point in time. Looking at mailbox. There lies the rub.
Sorry.
Given the fact that the resignation was just motioned and accepted, is this something we want to act on this evening, or do we want to kick the can down the road and or
There's a time frame for replacement,
for
There is no time frame for replacement.
because I know with the borough, it's like 30 days or something like that.
I don't believe there is when it comes to authority appointments.
Remember.
I mean, it goes to
Do you know
their
the
operational. It goes to just them being able to operate, you know, with when you only have a 5-member board to begin with, quorums become difficult, and with Barb being laid up, her phone wouldn't constitute a quorum, so it would be very difficult. If anybody missed, there would be no quorum.
But there's something to be said for that, in that the resignation was accepted and no one has had an opportunity, should they have an interest,
To apply.
in being part of
Somebody else,
the authority.
community, yeah.
And if we were to go ahead and appoint someone now, was that too fast?
We can wait, we can do it now, it doesn't matter. That's what this board's for.
This is the only person that came to you guys?
Or did you come, or did you go to him or did he come to you?
I went to him, I also went to half the business people in Mountain Jewett.
Okay,
Everybody turned it down, I mean, I probably went to 8 or 9 people. and
What-
Nobody wants to do it.
was it discussed in your meeting to ask Frank?
He
Or was
hadn't
it-
resigned yet.
Oh, okay,
John didn't
It
resign
was
until the
mentioned
day
at the
after.
end of the meeting.
mentioned at the end of the meeting?
So the sewer authority, because the letter says the sewer authority endorses them, so that was discussed.
It wasn't discussed, I don't think, in the meeting.
Couldn't have been.
It wasn't really discussed,
No.
Brian just brought it up and said that's who he wanted to put on. It wasn't voted on or anything.
Okay, does it have to be, or no?
No, we appoint those memberships.
Okay. So they don't have to necessarily all be in that step?
I make a motion to put Brett on the sewer board. I think he has the experience of working with other boards. I know Frank, this is nothing against him personally, but I've known with, working with Brett through the water board and the sewer board, he knows what he's doing. He keeps his head on straight, no matter how much I irritate him, he always would come back and we would work it out. And that's saying a lot, because if anybody knew the relationship for a while, it was tenuous at best. And he's very fair, very level-headed. He's learned from the best sewer operator we ever had on how to take care of that plant. And I think we would make a mistake by not putting him on. So you guys can second it, not second it, that's just how I feel about it.
In response to that, I do see that he has his documentation here that per, laws and
Mhm.
ethics and all that, he is
He is
qualified.
able- qualified.
He's able to do it. But the other side of that is I was able to stay on the library board when they were hiring and ultimately hired my wife.
Right.
And I resigned because even though technically it's legal, ethically it is potentially concerning. A lot of people could see a lot of potential conflict there because of him being an employee of that, him being on this council, and just in the community, that perception of a lot of, as I phrased it, layers of bread.
And I understand that, but I think we all know that, what right with me, that sits on this board is involved with more than one thing, and anybody could say about anybody, they're involved in too much, they have their hand in too much.
But that's not the statement.
No, I understand that, I
Okay.
understand. But
I'll second the motion, so if you wanna move forward with discussion or vote, then I understand Jason's point
I do too.
thoroughly, and I understand that there's potential backlash, but I also feel that of the candidates there, that.
And the backlash is purely social.
I'm sorry.
The backlash is purely community and social.
Yeah,
Right.
Perception, legally, it's clean.
Yeah.
But I just thought it should be registered.
understood, no, and I'm glad you brought that up, so we can have that conversation.
I appreciate the discussion, and I know that this ask is not one that, wouldn't come without some backlash and some scrutiny, and I appreciate that. I've sat on the sewer boards before, I worked for them, I have a vision for what I would like to see. I believe the sewer board has been doing good. I've brought some points up, and I think we bring a lot to the administrative side and the running of it that are going to benefit the community in the long run, and I look forward to talking to everybody about that. As far as backlash goes, not uncertain. I sat on this board, I ran the water company. We did a wonderful job taking care of that and getting things sussed out and keeping it as level as we could, wearing the both hats and balancing it. There are many layers to me, I am involved in a lot of stuff, but I think I do very good in this element. That's all I've done for the last 2 decades is run municipal water sewer systems and work with boards.
Now, who sent this or gave this to you?
Yes.
That's the Municipal Authorities Association of the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's
I mean, my
PSAB.
biggest beef about it is in fact, council members, I mean, just.
I understand, we have one council member on the board, and we have our
Yeah.
person. My actual goal for the sewer authority is create a regional authority, make it everybody. There's Sargent Township representation, there's Lance Corners representation. Hell, there might even be at one point in time Hamlin Town or Hazelhurst representation because of the different sewer entities. This is a regional authority. Brian's on it, he lives in Cushiclaw, he is a representative from that place, but he owns the properties here, they don't have sewage in Cushiclaw. I would like to see this be more balanced, I'd like to see more representation. Borough Council being one of them. I appreciate the motion in a second, I'll call for the vote. I will be abstaining.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Madam Mayor, you are the tiebreaker.
I vote yes.
There it is.
Did we, you actually recorded who voted what?
I'm getting it right now.
Okay.
There we go. Moving forward. Bike racks, any other old business?
We already get anywhere with bike racks.
Well, it's constantly on there, but we've put on the bike rack thing, and we should probably remove it. That's what we decided, we were gonna wait until the sidewalks were done, so we could place.
Right, the sidewalk projects needs to be complete before.
Then we gotta ask any business owner, hey, you all right with a bike rack in front of your place, library, this, that, and that.
Oh, I got a question on sidewalk project. Why aren't they working on Thursdays?
They're working Thursdays.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going 40 hours a week.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Is it being it's
I
prevailing
understood.
rates, so the contractor
40,
that has it
okay.
be.
I'm sure when they bid it.
40 hours.
Okay, I was just curious.
Should we still do it?
I'm sure when they bid that, it was, you know,
Mhm.
different,
Right.
so.
No, I was just wondering.
All right. No other old business, anybody?
Mhm.
Okay. Approval of repository bid, we did that. Liquid fuel aid, we did that. Let's retire for a brief executive session for personnel reasons, and we'll come back out and discuss any necessary.
There's cake in there.
I
There is-
know.
That was for my birthday.
Is it stale?
Oh, no. No, she just made it today.
Oh, okay.